Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It's Jason back with another slate breakdown. This slate today, we have a big 11 game main slate before our 4th of July, holiday. So before everybody, fills up on hot dogs, burgers, ribs, whatever you eat on 4th of July, let's try and bink something tonight, shall we? I'm going to be playing 150 lineups into the $3 150 max over on DraftKings. So I figured what a better way to really do a video today, then go through a sample 150 build with everybody from start to finish. So I got some unique takes, not just like, is this person going to do well? Is this pitcher going to fail? Is this stack going to perform? But more about the constraints I'm going to be using, the things I'm going to be doing to try and manipulate my builds. I want to take you through all that. So first and foremost, start on the master's table as always. Got my handy dandy yellow notepad here as always. And what we're going to do first is we're going to sort by matchup average trend. And obviously Milwaukee, great matchup today, against Colorado in Coors. So, you know, definitely want to just take a look at them. Understand too, they're not trending well. So if they are super chalky, maybe it's a team we fade, but we'll dive more into them. But, they are in the best matchup on the day. So you gotta at least take a look at them. Um, Mets in Washington, I don't believe they're on the slate. The Mets in Washington. Yep, Mets in Washington are not on the slate, so no worries there. Padres in Texas. Whew, Padres, big fucking letdown yesterday. Your boy had a lot of money invested in them, and they fucking suck. But they're great trending numbers, great matchup. The matchup itself is trending really well. They don't need to face great pitching to do well. Yeah, San Diego looks really good probably today in the models. We'll see. Houston, we'll take a look at LAD. We'll take a look at Minnesota. We'll take a look at Cincinnati. Washington, you have LA, Oakland, you have LA. Yeah, we could do LA too, even though they're not trending great. And we have the Yankees. Is there anybody else that we want to take a look at? When we sort by trending for 8+ runs. Only new team in the fold here is Toronto, but the matchup does not look great, and they need to face good pitching. So they need to face a bad pitcher to do well to realize their ceiling. Baltimore there is kind of interesting. Um, I tend to lean towards teams like Baltimore just because they have a lot of power throughout their lineup and they're tough to strike out. I know they didn't put up a good run yet, good number yesterday, but if I believe James Breadcrumbs, we're talking about Logan Gilbert today. Is that who's playing? Yep, Logan Gilbert. Apparently, there is some regression there, so we'll take a look into that and we'll see. Um, but we'll look at them and we'll take a look at Colorado too, just because they're in cores. So these are not the only teams I'm going to consider. I might take some out. I might keep some in, but these are the teams that at least look very interesting off the cuff. Next, bullpen data, as always, starting here. Expected batting average, Colorado, Arizona, Toronto, terrible. KC, also not great. Expected slugging, Toronto, Arizona, Colorado. Yeah, this is not good. Milwaukee's up there too, and they're in cores, not great. KC, not good. Uh, Ex Wobo putting expected guys on base, Colorado, Arizona, Toronto. These four are a common theme that you're going to see up top here. Texas is up there a lot also. So that's something to consider. You maybe want to use the offenses that are going against these pitchers. When I look at individual pitchers, so first thing I'm going to do, this is something new that I've added into my process, is I actually look at the pitchers, their current slate stats first. So the first thing I want to do, I'll give a quick little true average look just to see. Nobody over 3 today. There's some here. I know Ronel Blanco. We're all plotting on this guy's fucking downfall, but his underlyings probably aren't that bad. Colin Rea, interesting. I'm going to bring up a very interesting point about Colin Rea later of why I kind of want to attack him anytime he's on the mound anywhere. I'll bring that up. Adam Azur against Washington, he decided not to walk everybody when we had the best walk props ever. David Festa, Joey Estes, John Gray, Dakota Hudson. Overall, some good people we can attack today based on that. The slugging they're giving up, John Gray, going against San Diego. I don't know if San Diego's going to hurt us again, but I can almost guarantee when we go and look at the scoring percentages tabs that San Diego's probably going to pop a little bit. You say Kikuchi. Yep, the Cooch, he's supposed to regress positively based on the breadcrumbs, but that's a lot of power to give up. He's a soft tossing lefty. he might get taken yard once or twice. You never know. Joey Estes, Carlos Rodon, um, again, Colin Ray is showing here again. Dakota Hudson, probably the worst fucking starting pitcher in baseball. Jordan Hicks, that's a little surprising to see. And yeah, you have Trevor Rogers. So we have decent amount of guys here that are giving up a lot of slugging. And we have some down here like Davis Daniel, Chris Sale. Probably going to be the chalk combo between these two today. Um, Expected batting average, John Gray should get a little worse. Dakota Hudson should get a little worse. Michael Walker should get a lot worse. Adam Mazur's right where he should be. Jordan Hicks, wow, he's poised for a lot of base hit regression, it seems. Festa, okay. And then expected home runs. Oof, Dean Creamer, whatever the fuck, however you want to pronounce his name. When you're giving up home runs like that, and you should be giving up more like that, I'm gonna call you whatever the fuck I want to call you. That's okay. I'll pronounce your name wrong. Don't give up so many home runs. Yeah, this is pretty wild. So if Dean Kramer was probably facing a team in a better park, and it's probably would be a good idea to attack Dean Kramer one of these days. And you know what? We'll take a look at Seattle too. We'll see how they look in the sheets, and we'll see if it makes sense. Colin Rea, love to see that. I'm all about attacking Colin Rea, and I'll tell you all why later, and I'll show you something cool. Logan Gilbert, this is interesting because I talked about Baltimore. Yeah, look at that regression. His true average is fine. He's striking people out. He's not walking anybody. His slugging's okay, but man, when he gives up hits, they tend to go out. Ronel Blanco, yeah, I'll be fucking 40 before he regresses. Andrew Abbott against the Yankees. We love attacking the Yankees with everybody, especially a lefty. So I get that. And then you have Zach Wheeler, who it's interesting to see. Pepois, however the fuck you want to pronounce his name, from Tampa Bay. Carlos Rodon. We have a lot of guys that are giving up a lot of home runs, and some that are supposed to regress pretty badly. When I look at the splits now, true average to the left side of the plate. David Festa, Minnesota, going against Detroit. Maybe a sample size thing, but we'll see. But Adam Mazur against Texas. Texas kind of went off last night, not K'ing anybody, walking everybody, giving up big power. Big true average. His expected slugging is not good, but his expected home runs are not that as bad as you'd think. He's got a middle of the pack number, I'd say, in expected home runs per plate appearance today also. But yeah, that's interesting to note. When I start by X slugging, Festa, Estes, John Gray, right away I'm going to tell you I'm probably going to have a San Diego. I'm going to have San Diego as part of my portfolio today. They're not overly cheap when you combine them as a stack, but man, you just need to get into that bullpen, and this can be pretty crazy. Also against the left side of the plate, you have Yusei Kikuchi, that Jordan, lefty on lefty, probably gets you something pretty good today. You have Dakota Hudson. I know Milwaukee's got some lefty bats in their lineup. Yeah, this guy looks primed to attack today. Dakota Hudson. All of these numbers are just dog shit. This is just really bad. Jordan Hicks, I know we were talking about him before. It's a little crazy to see. Ronel Blanco, Carlos Rodon. We're too bad Toronto doesn't have any good lefties to take advantage of this fucking gas can. But man, yeah, there's a lot of these pitchers are serving it up to lefties and should be serving it up more. Gavin Stone, Logan Gilbert, these guys down here, not giving much up in this area, in this arena. Same thing with Shota, Emanaga, with Davis Daniel, Jared Jones, Pittsburgh. I don't know if they're on the slate. It's all good. And Chris Sale. Yeah, Chris Sale for a while this year had some really interesting lefty regression numbers, but he's just fucking elite. Look at this guy. Insane. When I sort by expected home runs, Dean Kramer. Okay. So we now know his regression is coming from the left side of the plate. So Seattle lefties, maybe we want to take a look at some of them today. We'll add the left-handed hitters. Colin Rea, love to see that. John Gray, Zach Wheeler, Dakota Hudson, Brian Bello, who I know is supposed to regress positively. We're kind of into his baselines, but he's having a rough go of it right now. And Miami's not a great stack. They're not a high-powered offense. They have some lefties that could probably hit him, and the fact that he's not striking anybody out puts me off him today. But maybe he might project better than you think. We go to the right side of the plate now. Let's look at the true average. Yeah, Ronel Blanco here. So Ronel Blanco, just both sides of the plate. He's just fucking. he's just skating by at the skin of his teeth right now. This is crazy. Um, Here's what's interesting though. He's not giving up a lot of slugging. He's got a pretty high K rate. Walk rates are approaching a place that you don't really like to see. His expected home runs, man, he's got the second highest expected home run for plate appearance number against righties on the slate today. I think you can consider Toronto. I'm seeing this now, and there's power there. I think you can consider Toronto. That's okay. That's okay. So we'll take a look at them. As we go down here, we have Christian Mena at 4K. He's probably an opener or, some sort of, maybe, making his debut. You never know. Um, but yeah, so expected home runs, plate appearance, Festa, Blanco, Cater, Montero. Expected home runs, Andrew Abbott. You like to see that if you're going to play the Yankees today. Striking him out at an okay clip, but he's walking him, not giving up a ton of power, and his batting average should get better, but he should have given up more home runs than he already has. Say Logan Gilbert, man, these Baltimore righties are, he has home run regression to both sides of the plate, but his numbers are very, very bad here. Lower strikeout rate, not great. True average is pretty high. Spent slugging is high. Hits, yeah, he's already given up homers. He should have given up a lot more. Man, Baltimore righties are probably an okay little mini stack today. I don't think I'm going to full stack them, but we'll take a look. All right, Rodon against righties. Man, yeah, this is really bad, especially in a place like Yankee Stadium. It's a little bit easier to hit home runs. I know everybody talks about the right field fence a lot for lefties, but man, righties can smoke the ball there too. So it's an interesting little nugget to look at. You have Zach Wheeler down here, Colin Rea. Fuck yeah, you suck. I can't wait to attack you later. Zach Wheeler, Trevor Rogers. It's Boston. Yeah, so very interesting. So here now, another thing I've been doing, I know that I usually pull up hitters tabs and I want to sort them by each game so that way I can see the lineup indefinitely and pick out the best bats. But also I wanted to see maybe from an outline point of view which teams are in prime spots. Yeah, look at this. Look at San Diego. I don't even care that they fucked me yesterday. They could fuck me again tonight. Low average K rate, high expected batting average, highest expected slugging on the slate. One of the higher teams in expected home runs per plate appearance today. And also, too, their event for plate appearance is low. So that's interesting to know that they're probably going to get most of their points off of hits, home runs, not too much on the bases. Houston expected slugging, very good. The Mets aren't on the slate. The Angels, yeah, that makes sense. Especially when we were looking at who's the bum that they're facing. They're facing somebody today who sucks. Oh, Joey Estes. That makes sense. And also, too, these stats are also within the split that they have. So when I look at opponent true average, too, like Minnesota's going against Keter Montero, very low true average. Jordan Hicks, very low true average. Chris Sale, very low true average. Kikuchi, low true average. Highest combined true average. Yeah, Toronto against Blanco. They have a good expected slugging. Yeah, you got to look at Toronto today. You got to do it, especially the righty bats. Colorado, yes, Colin Rea here. You don't love to see that from the expected slugging, but he's giving something up that's very interesting that I want everybody to see. But yeah, from here you see LA, Cincinnati, Toronto, LAD, Minnesota, San Francisco, Milwaukee. When you sort by event for plate appearance, Cincinnati, Philly, Boston, New York, Houston, Baltimore. So I think you're going to see Cincinnati and San Diego probably at the top of the sheets today, along with the Coors game. Let's see if I'm right. So when I look at the scoring percentages, I'm just going to reset them. Yeah, okay, look at that. Yep. So Cincinnati is middling for a really big slate, but not bad. They're kind of in a logjam from 21 to 16. Like, just so everybody knows too, when I look at teams that are in the scoring percentages tab, if I see like this much of a difference between 16 and 20, 21, like all of these teams are relatively similar to me, meaning in how they're going to score. It's actually more important, I think, to look at their prices versus that. And then you could also find the leverage. But yeah, Texas against Missouri, he's a walk machine. So this makes complete sense. Then John Gray, yep, that's what we're talking about. San Diego, the Yankees, we love them against anybody, and especially a lefty who's going to give up a lot of power. And LAD, Christian Mena makes sense. Milwaukee, Colorado, Coors makes sense. And then Toronto, just like we were talking about with Blanco, he's expecting some bad things coming his way, so that makes sense. Detroit, Atlanta, at the bottom of the sheets, you have Houston against Kikuchi. You know, the most negative leverage team on the slate today is Houston. The highest leverage team on the slate today is the Padres. So, fuck yeah, San Diego. Here too, something else really cool on the hitter research sheets tab when you sort by current team stats. You can look at their average salary. So I think this is a really unique thing to take a look at, and you can find out if guys, if teams are overpriced, underpriced, whatever it may be. So just to give you an example, take a look at Arizona. Arizona, their average salary here, they're one of the more expensive teams today on the slate. Gavin Stone, middling true average. They're Kane, decent amount, but not great. They're walking a lot. Their expected batting average in this lineup is low. Their expected slugging is low. And overall, their expected home run rate's not great. So Arizona is a team that I look at today and I'm like, all right, you are overpriced probably for the spot you're in. Let's take a look at somebody who's underpriced. I wouldn't say Miami. They're K'ing a lot. Oakland, I wouldn't say they have some decent power, but not great. Detroit, not good. San Francisco, yeah, if you want to attack Sale, be my guest, but that's not an optimal strategy. Chicago not on the slate, and Toronto. Toronto has an average salary of $35.44 on DraftKings per player, high true average, low K rate. They're walking a lot, high batting average expectations, high slugging expectations. Not a great stolen base expectation, but that's okay. So, yeah, Toronto is probably a team in the optimizer that's going to pop when we run it. Some other teams to note that are probably cheap for their upside. The Angels right here, right after Toronto. So I'm going to give these maybe a little bit more of a bump. We'll give Toronto an italices. We're going to give the Angels an italices because they're cheap. Seattle, you don't want to tax. Cincinnati, yeah, look, Cincinnati against Rodon, 100%. I get that. All right, so that's the other thing I like to do, and then I'll search different teams here. But the pitcher that I really wanted to attack, that I know you're all kind of saying, like, okay, Colin Rea, he sucks, we get it, but why? I'm going to pull up Colorado today. So they're going against Colin Rea. Expected home runs here, McMahon, Toglia, Bretton Doyle. Expected batting average, not great outside of Brendan Rodgers. Expected slugging, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got 5 guys right around or above league average and a few slightly below, but not terrible. Event for plate appearance, Bretton Doyle, Nolan Jones, Toglia. Here's the reason why I always want to attack Colin Rea. So Bretton Doyle steals a lot of bags. Nolan Jones will steal bags. Tovar will steal, middling, Blackman, and all these guys. I've been hearing a lot of pro players talk about their process and some things that they put into play. And a point that I heard from Uticow, which I thought was very intriguing, was that you know, on DraftKings in the scoring and what they use, stolen bases are kind of broken. And even more on FanDuel, right? Like it's really broken. If you could target stolen bases, you should definitely do it. And I get that they're not predictable, but they are a little bit more predictable than other things. So I went to this website called Razzball. This is a good website, and it will pull out all starting pitchers that have at least 50 innings pitched from 2022 through 2024, so you have a sample size. This column here is inning pitched by stolen base, meaning how many stolen bases, the frequency of how many innings they throw, will somebody steal a base on them. So you have Mike Clevenger here, Mike Soroka, Kyle Hendricks, and then look right here, Colin Rea. Once every 9 innings, he throws 9 innings. He's going to get people trying to steal bags on him. And they do it at a pretty good frequency, too. So just to give you some perspective, Colin Rea is 17th on this list. If you want to go to the 50th person on this, Hunter Brown is once every 12 innings. So basically, we're saying that 25% of the time more, I think my math is correct there. We'll see, that it is more likely that Colin Rea will give up a stolen base versus Hunter Brown. I kind of love that, right? Especially when you're talking about teams and maybe teams that don't have a lot of power, but they got to get on base. I know we talk about, Woba and ex-Woba a lot, but that doesn't really account for stolen bases. It just accounts for guys like how they get on bases, walks, so it could be a little fluky. So that's just one thing I wanted to take a look at and show you. This is a great tool I've seen to target stolen base upside. Also to another one, John Gray. San Diego doesn't run a lot, but he gives up a lot of stolen bases. I think, the other day, Pete Alonso, who doesn't steal bags at all, I forgot who they were playing, but him and Lindor pulled off a double steal. I think it might have been against the Yankees. It was either the Yankees or the Astros. One of their pitchers, I went and looked up here and was pretty high up here. And then when he stole the base, I said, aha, that kind of makes sense. Interesting too is Garrett Crochet here, one of the higher pitchers. But yeah, anytime you get, a Clevenger on the mound, you get Hendricks, you're going to get Kyle Harrison, Reed Detmers, Feltner even, Gosman, like Corbin, like, yeah, take the guys who could run against them. Do it. It makes so much sense. So I just wanted to point that out to everybody, and that's why I really want to attack Colin Rea. I think he's just going to let more guys get in the scoring position than probably some other pitchers will, just by his own pitching mechanics. He doesn't have to do anything. All right, let's go to the stack finder. We're going to run the stack analysis quick. As expected, Texas, San Diego, Toronto, San Diego, LAD. Some Seattle, that's interesting, and one San Francisco. I assure you, you should not be attacking Chris Sale under any circumstance today. But if you want to be that guy, you can go ahead and be that guy. Okay, so now let's take a look at our range of outcome model. We're going to take a look at pitchers only. I do not care as much for hitters projections, as you all know, but if you want to take a look at them to make a decision, be my guest. It's just not something I really value that much. And in regards to the projections, I just let the Opto take care of that. I know that might sound a little contradictory, but if I'm playing one lineup, two lineup, 3 entry max, a handful, I don't really care about hitting projections all that much. But here, sort by pitching on DraftKings, you have Kikuchi, who looks like a supreme value. Chris Sale, who obviously Chris Sale on the mound any day is a good idea. Davis Daniel, Michael Walker, Logan Gilbert, Zach Wheeler, Gavin Stone, Rodon, Shota. So automatically, I'm looking at this, and when I'm sorting by salary, I don't think there's really a need to pay up today unless you want to get to Chris Sale. If you want to take a stab on one of these guys, like, do it, but I don't think there's any reason to pay up. I think you should be paying down at pitching today. We'll look more into it, and we'll look and see what the optimizer is going to give us. But yeah, that's what I'd be doing. When I sort by ownership, Chris Sale is the highest owned pitcher by a country mile. Then Dean Kramer, Davis Daniel, Logan Gilbert, Carlos Rodon, Zach Wheeler, Keter Montero. So let's see if we can maybe pull up. We can get some leverage here. Those Dean Kramer home runs splits were fucking terrible. They were horrendous. Yeah, lefties really bad. And righties, not good either. Shit. Okay, so we could attack him with anybody. When I take a look at Seattle here, good true average they're going against. They're K'ing a lot. I know that hurts and that sucks. 220 batting average, expected batting average, not great. Expected slugging as a team, not fantastic. When we look at them in the trending sheets, Seattle, not great trending, not a good matchup to trend, but the matchup's getting better over time, and they need worser pitching to unlock their upside. So Dean Kramer, middling arm, couldn't they? I had the scenario as like if they're low owned, I'll maybe consider them, but I'm probably not going to attack a middling guy. There's probably better spots. When I look at the team itself here, Cal Riley, obviously we know he's a really big bat, good expected slugging, home run numbers, Canzone, Rodriguez. You could definitely make a little mini here if you want to. I don't think you really need to attack him today to get to where you need to get to. And when you look at their salaries too, like Rodriguez is expensive and, looks fine, but he is what it is. Cal Riley is a catcher, usually a spot we take value, but if you want to play him, you can. J.P. Crawford at shortstop, probably batting leadoff. Not terrible, but not great. Overall, I'm going to take Seattle off the list today, even though Dean Kramer is going to get fucking punished one of these days. He's going to get punished. Um, let's take a look at Toronto, because that's one. I know Blanco is. We're all waiting for this guy to fucking just die. Um, Guerrero, Bochette, Horowitz are the most expensive bats. Overall, this is a very affordable stack, so that's something you have to keep in mind here. Expected batting average, you love to see this. You just love to see this. This is fantastic. They have one guy, Varsho, who, yeah, I mean, if you don't want to, I still think you could stack him. Like, that's fine, but maybe a little overpriced. But yeah, he's the only guy you look at. You're like, all right, I don't love seeing that. Expected slugging, yeah, Guerrero, Horowitz, Springer, Kirk, K percentage. Outside of Varsho and Barger, Springer's striking out a decent amount. Everybody else is not striking out a ton. And their home run upside is very good here. This is very, very good. Event for plate appearance, not great because they are, in fact, not a running team. So just keep that in mind. But overall, Toronto makes sense why you'd want to stack them today. Let's take a look at San Diego, just because I know John Gray's. He looks like a guy we should be just be attacking today. John Gray against lefties, yeah, terrible, not good. Nothing about that is good. Against righties, better strikeout rate, not walking anybody. His averages should come up a little bit, and he's not giving up too much power, but he should be giving up kind of where he is, maybe a little bit more. Let's take a look at San Diego. I know here, okay, probably a middling average salary. Actually, one of the lower ones. I thought they were more expensive. Expected batting average, slugging, yeah, they're going to look really good here. Expected batting average, yeah, you have all these guys that are looking very high here. Expected slugging, Merrill, Higashioka, Cronenworth, Arise, Profar. This is why this is so important and why I think San Diego needs to be a core focus of everybody's today. They're trending. They're the best trending team in the tables, the best matchup in the tables outside of Milwaukee and Colorado. Their matchup trend is really good. They don't have to face good pitching to unlock their ceiling. John Gray's given up a fucking shit ton of power. And also, their bullpen is disastrous. Expected slugging, that's not great. They're putting guys on base, that's not great. And they're also, middling putting the ball in play. But overall, just not great. Not a great team with a really terrible bullpen. They're one of the top teams that walk in so many guys. Like Texas, not good. They're just not a good team. Not a good staff there. So I really think San Diego is affordable, and they have the upside. They are way too cheap today. So San Diego, you're getting the bold and you're getting the italices. We're going to take a look at the Angels. We'll put Toronto. Leave Toronto there just because Blanco's kind of good. Take a look at the Angels today. The Angels here, yeah, Logan O'Hoppe, Zach Neto, Moniak, Sean Yell, I don't pronounce that name, Rengifo, Willie Calhoun, Joe Adell, Taylor Ward, Braden Drury. They have so much fucking power in this lineup, and they just haven't realized a lot of it. Yeah, this is pretty stupid. Like, this is fucking broken. I'm impressed here. I'm impressed. Event for plate appearance. Okay, Joe Adell and Renifo are going to steal bags, but you kind of know that. Just looking back at Joey Estes in the tables, yeah, lefties he fucking blows. Not good. Against righties, not walking people, which you like to see. His bat average should get better, but he giving up power. Overall, is a guy you want to attack. When you look at the matchup tables here, LAA, not trending great, but the matchup is good, and they're middling. It's not a great pitcher, so I think LAA makes sense, and also they are dirt cheap. So that's the other thing you got to think about. They are probably one of the cheapest teams on the day, I would think. Yeah, 3,600. Yeah, they're very cheap. Texas is also really cheap too against Missouri, and I know they're popping, so we'll take a look at them. But yeah, you definitely want to consider LAA as a cheap stack today. Texas, expected batting average, yeah, not bad. There's some guys here: Josh Smith, Semien, Derek Hill. Okay down here. Jonah Heim and Ornelas. You don't really love that. But yeah, there's no Corey Seager, so nobody's going to want to play them. Adolis Garcia, Nathaniel Lowe, Leody Tavares, Wyatt Langford. It's all right. There's some guys with some home run power. There's some guys that strike out, but not a lot of strikeout pop. This is obviously a small sample size thing. Not a ton of base stealing here. So you're really banking on Adam Mazur walking guys blowing up, and then they're just going to bring them home. When I look at Texas here, their trending is not great, not horrible. The matchup is very middling. The matchup trend is trending in the wrong direction, and they're middle. They don't need. They're middle in the pack and needing a good pitcher to unlock their ceiling. So Missouri sucks, right? He's not good. If I remember correctly, San Diego had like one of the best bullpens in baseball, I thought. Yeah, these are all really, really good numbers here. Okay, so maybe when he gets out of the game, you're a little bit more concerned. But yeah, it's tough. I'll include Texas today just because they're so cheap and no semi and no one's going to want to play them. But they're probably not going to be a main for me today. If they had a little bit more power, like if their stats looked like the Angels, I would 110% be in that. All right, so now we'll take a look quick guess at the team to see who is popping, and they think Texas, New York, Toronto, San Diego, LAD, Detroit, Milwaukee, okay, Colorado, Atlanta. So down at the bottom you have Tampa Bay, Baltimore, Oakland. So the Chiefs think Texas is the highest scoring stack today. So sorry about that. A little tired. Next, we're going to go to DraftKings. I already have it set by ceiling. I have a 99% salary cap. I always leave 500 in case I want to pivot. We're going to just leave it on 100% right now. Let's see what it gives us. No parameters. 2 Yankees, 2 Rangers with Kikuchi and Waka. Now let's run it for. We're going to run it for a 5-man. Texas 5-man, just like the sheet said. Now we're going to set this to. We're going to leave it at 100. And we're going to set all stack sizes. We're going to sort this by. I want to do 15 here for 3-mans. I'm going to put as 10. I just want to get a lot of variety here. I just want to see what they're going to give us. We'll set this to 20. I know if they like some teams in 5-mans, they're probably going to like them in 2-mans. So I want to just make sure that we're casting a wide net. Let's try and grab everything we can grab. I'm going to leave the max exposure player to 100. We're going to run this for 150 lineups. Okay. So while that's running, we'll take a look at some other teams here. Let's take a look at Houston going against Kikuchi. Kikuchi's the highest projected pitcher in the models today. And I don't really get why. This is a lot. Altuve, Yainer Diaz, Chas McCormick, Jordan, Bregman. These guys, Dubon, Myers, Pena. These guys in the split are should be hitting the ball and getting on base. Expected slugging. That's a lot of fucking power here. Stolen base upside. Okay, some K upside. Gray Kessinger. That's definitely a sample size number. Chas McCormick swings at fucking everything. Jake Myers swings at fucking everything. So there is some K potential with these two. That's probably reliable. The rest do not K a lot. Toronto's bullpen shit. We know that. Looking at Kikuchi, and I know he's supposed to regress. I like that number. That's okay. That's really good. That's dog shit. That's middling. It's okay, and he should be giving up less home. He should have given up less home runs, but he's still giving them up. To the left side of the plate, I like that. I do not like that. That's middling. That's fucking dog shit. That's terrible. And this is fine. So overall, I think if you're playing Kikuchi, you got to think about how are you going to, you're going to get into the bullpen. What kind of leverage are you gaining? Houston here, trending for 8+. You like that. Matchup's great. Matchup 8+ is great. Middling here, they need a middling pitcher. Kikuchi's probably considered a good pitcher, so I don't love that for Houston's sake. But when I go and look at their salaries now, Houston, yeah, one of the cheapest teams on the slate today too. I don't love this X home run number, but that's okay. Overall, I think Kikuchi is going to regress, like James is saying. Do I think he's the pitcher you should be targeting today? Maybe. I mean, he's only going to be 3% owned. Like, I don't think you're gaining much there by playing him. I'm sorry, by playing against and attacking him. And when I saw it by DK ownership here, Houston's the most, negative leverage team on the slate. So while they look great, if you're going to play Houston, you got to surround them with some really, really low-owned pieces. But yeah, so that's Houston. We'll take a look at one more team, and then we will go look at our runs. I'm going to remove Houston from consideration. Let's take a look at Cincinnati. I know Rodon is, a guy that we like to pick on sometimes. He's going to regress. Marte, that's a very, very, very small sample size. But Spencer Steer, that's crazy. Ellie De La Cruz. I thought this guy sucked against lefties. Like, when did he get good? Tyler Stevenson, a lot of power against left-handed bats here. A lot of power. Expected batting average is good. Expected home run per plate appearance is good. Stevenson, Espinal, Cruz, Candelario. I think are they expensive? No, they're middling too. They're kind of cheap. High expected batting average here. You'll love to see that. Against righties, Rodon. That's fine. That's fine. That's good. That's dog shit. This is really, really bad. That's really, really bad. Cincinnati, actually, sorry, the Yankees. Lefties, good, fine, good. Dog shit, not good, fine. So, yeah, I think you could stack against Rodon today if you want to. It's a good trending matchup with the Yankees. Their bullpen's kind of decimated. Cincinnati needs to face bad pitching in order to do well, and depending what you think of Rodon. I think Rodon's good, but the matchup is good. The trending's good. They're trending themselves really good. Really well, I should say. Overall, I think I like Cincinnati today. I do, and I also like that they're away. They're going to get that extra at bat. So we'll give them a bold. Now looking at the 150 run here, we should be done. So with no constraints here, I got 96% Kikuchi, Davis Daniels next, Chris Sale, Waka, Logan Gilbert, and Cater Montero. We only have 2 pitchers above 9K that even should be worth our look, and Logan Gilbert is not somebody you want to look at today. So this is interesting. When I look at team stacks, yep, all the Texas in the world, Yankees, Dodgers, Padres, Cincinnati, Toronto, Detroit, Minnesota. Detroit is the one team that I'm looking at that it's a little surprising to me. So we'll dive into them. But overall, this is what we're getting. I now want to set this to, and this is your risk tolerance. James likes to set his MME runs to 60. I like to do 62.5. Don't ask me why. I want a little bit more than the teams I really thought I wanted. And here now, I'm going to put the teams in that I think are worthy of stack consideration today. So Cincinnati, we put Colorado in. We'll put Detroit in for the sake of the video. Houston, I'm probably going to leave out, but I might regret that. The Angels, the Dodgers, Milwaukee, Minnesota, the Yankees, San Diego, and Toronto. These are the ones that we identified here that we really liked. Is there anybody else that's maybe off the beaten path that we want to take a look at? Let's take a look at the highest leverage teams today. KC against Pepwa. See how they're trending. Nah. I love that though. That's very good. Taking a look at Tampa Bay's guy, Pepwa, striking out a lot of lefties. Not that they have really any good ones anyway, but he's giving up some power to them too. And against right-handed bats, where did I? Oh, I'm looking at Casey Pepwa. Like that, like that. That's okay. That's really bad. And yeah, he should be giving up some more power and expected slugging, and his average is okay. Overall, I don't think Pepwa is that bad of a pitcher. If you want to attack them with KC, you can. Let's see how expensive Kansas City is. Kansas City is one of the more expensive teams today, it looks like, per average. So, is what it is. We will, not great expected batting numbers, expected slugging. They're okay. If you want to add them in, you can. Purposes, I'll throw them in. What's the harm? Okay. So now I only set this to 5. I didn't do 5-3 or 5-2 because I think once you get to, 3 batters or 2 batters, like you're starting to rely on other players. Like I'm going to keep it more where I want some more volatility for my one-offs. So I think I'm going to keep this here. And if the opto gives me 3 mans, then so be it. So here now we have that. We're going to set our max player exposure. The 5-2s, we're going to set that to 10. The 3s, we're going to set that to 10 too. The 5-mans, we are going to leave at 15%. And let's see what we get. Oh, actually, shit. Let me curate my pitcher pool too. So I don't want Blanco today. I obviously don't want him. Mazert, yeah, no thanks. Festa, get lost. John Gray, nope. Abbott, nope. Not against Yankees. Dakota Hudson, nope. Zach Wheeler, I don't love it. Imanaga, no thanks. Colin Ray, yeah, okay. Jordan Hicks, nope. Logan Gilbert, nope. Chris Sale, yeah, we'll keep him in because he's Chris Sale. Carlos Rodon, almost projecting as a value, so that should tell you something about Cincinnati today. He's fine, but I'm probably gonna just take him out too. Joey Estes, he technically is a value, but I don't love him. I think LAA might get to him. Gavin Stone, we're gonna keep in. Dean Kramer, I don't want any guy off an IL stint, especially with those home run numbers. Pepwa grades out as a pretty good value. I'm gonna keep him in just because of how poor KC's numbers looked. Christian Mena, technically is a value, but I don't want to attack them. Keter Montero, that's interesting. We'll leave him in. Kikuchi, yeah, I know that really, really likes Kikuchi. I want to take him down, though, maybe a little bit. It's just a scary lineup, and they're not striking out a lot. It's a little tougher. So I'm going to give him a 2 boost down, and then now we'll run. All right. Is there anything else we want to maybe take a look at today? That's interesting. If you want to take a look at the Yankees, I guess we can. I don't have to tell you should play Aaron Judge. He's the best hitter in baseball and just fucking cracks balls. Against Andrew Abbott here, yeah, we got some guys. Jahmai Jones is a very small sample size, but Glaber, he got some decent power. Expected batting average is okay. Home run for plate appearance. These are just stupid numbers. Like these are just really stupid. And it looks like DJ LeMahieu should hit a home run pretty soon. Yeah, the Yankees always are going to look good, but when they're going up against a lefty that has power problems, this is gonna be a rough one for him. Let's put it that way. And we'll let this finish up. See if there's anything else that was interesting. So while it's building, you'll see here too now in pictures, it's giving me more Chris Sale, Davis Daniel, which is the chalk combo pairing we're probably going to see. Michael Walker, Yusei Kikuchi, and that's even with me downgrading him. You're still getting 8x the field on him almost. I don't think you need any more than that. Keter Montero, Pepwa, Gavin Stone. So these are the pitchers it's giving me for this pool. When I look at the team stacks, it didn't even give me Texas as a 5-man anymore. That's a little interesting. I might want to look into why. Yankees 5-man, yep. San Diego, Cincinnati, Toronto, LAD, Detroit, Minnesota, Colorado, Milwaukee. from here, I just want to look at Detroit quick, and then I'll fuck around with each team's like percentages of exposure that I want to get. But yeah, it's a lot of power. Carson Kelly, Colt Keith, Matt Vierling, Riley Green. Yeah, I get this. That makes sense. Let's take a look at this guy in the sheets. Festa, no strikeout percent capability whatsoever. Some walks, true average not great. Slugging's okay. Expected batting average not great. Against lefties, wow, that's really bad. That's bad. That's fucking terrible. That's absurd. Yeah, Riley Green's probably gonna hit a home run now. Now that I'm thinking about it, taking it through. Keter Montero. Oh no, sorry, David Festa. Not great. Not great. Really good. Really, really good. Yeah, Festa's interest. You know that it's kind of interesting. I guess it's got to be Detroit's pricing. I'm gonna guess now. Yeah, they're just really cheap. That's why they're showing up. So that makes sense. So now from here, when I want to go and select the teams that I want to be over on, first let me see why is Texas. Why am I not getting any 5-mans from Texas? Oh, stupid! Because you didn't put him in here. Great job, Jason. I will go and put exposures now on the team. So I have a global cap of 15, but there's some that I maybe want to attack more than others. Maybe I'm gonna get more leverage on them. So from here, look at this column. I see San Diego, most leveraged team on the slate. I have them at 15. Maybe I want to keep them there. I'm probably going to keep them there. If not, maybe I'll even let myself get a little bit more. We'll go to 18%. So maybe I can get some more San Diego. Other teams. KC. Did we get any of them in our run? No. And it's because I didn't add them, but it's okay. No KC. Detroit, we got a small amount. Toronto. Toronto's one I'm probably going to leave a little higher. I'm going to leave a little higher because I can get a lot of leverage on them against Blanco. You have the Dodgers who look fantastic. I'm going to put them at 18. For the purpose of this video, I'm going to just decrease some. Detroit, I like them. I just don't know if they're the team that's going to get it done today. I'm going to lower them, maybe cut them in half. And when I go and look at their top scoring percentages to be the top stack, they dropped since the last run. They're at 5%. So I'm actually going to match how great I think they're going to do today. Looking back at this again, you have the Yankees with Abbott, Texas, Missouri, San Diego. We're going to leave New York as where's New York? Middling here in New York. That I'm going to probably leave that as is at 15. Dodgers I increased. The Angels are really cheap, so I'm probably going to leave them where they are too. But when you get back to the negative leverage, Milwaukee against Dakota Hudson, I'm going to be a little lower on Milwaukee, just a little. 15. I'm going to take them to 10. All right, for the purpose of this video, we're going to leave the stacks there. Now for the pitchers we got in the last run, Davis Daniel, Chris Sale. This is such a weird slate where you're seeing low-end pitching really pop. So when that happens, low-end pitching is the low-dollar pitching. They're typically a little bit more volatile. So I'm going to just go through, and I'm going to take away the max ownership on a lot of these guys. So Chris Sale, I'll do like a max of 30. Like he's not even that great of a value today, so we'll keep him at 30. Gavin Stone, he's cheap, so we're all about the pricing here. 8,500 against Arizona. We'll put him to 30. Kikuchi, I'm really, really nervous about him today, just going up against this lineup. So I'm going to leave him at 20. I'm going to go 3x. That's the max I can do, 3x on him. Davis Daniel looks like a supreme value today. So him, I'm going to leave at around 40 because you can't put a premium on that. Pepwa, KC is a team that people want to use today. Want to keep him a little bit lower. Michael Waka, put at 40. He looks like a really good value today. And Cater Montero, we will leave at, because they're so cheap, we're going to leave at 40. All right. I'm going to run this again on ceiling. See what we get. Already getting all the Aaron Judge, all the Otani. When the two of the most expensive hitters on the slate are popping this much in your lineup, Juan Soto here too. It's because I put a limit on pitching and really went down. Yeah, Waka. This is where I kind of want to live today. If I'm playing single entry, if I'm playing a handful of lineups, I want to live in this arena today. 100%. This is where I want to live. So as we're getting up there, see team stacks. Yep, it's giving me all the fucking Texas because Texas is dirt cheap. From here to after I run these, I would probably go in and put a limit on Texas 2-mans and 3-mans because I don't want to be overexposed. 40% Texas is a lot to have of one team, especially a team that doesn't have their best player. So I'll go in here. I'm going to go to Texas. Here, I'm going to lower theirs to, we'll do 5 2-mans maybe and leave it at 0 3-mans because they're so cheap. I like them as a 5-man. You know what? Fuck it. If I get more of them, I get more of them. Who cares? But so that's what I would do for a run. Let that run one more time, and then we'll talk about the last tweaks I'll put on a build, and then we'll go from there. Let me see if anything has changed with the stack finder. Yep, Texas again. By the way, I want to just make something clear here too. I know Texas, looks great, and it's a team that a lot of you are going to play today. Be very wary about like the Ornellises of the world and the Derek Hills. Like this stack finder is giving you the best projected stack at their highest ownership. So these are Texas's best stacks you can make at their highest ownership. So I just want you to be very wary of that. This is a great tool if you want to use this here, the stolen base success rates. You can also go to Fangraphs if you want to look into individual pitcher splits and how teams are performing over the last 30 days. You'll see Pablo, myself, Gordy, a lot of other sharp people in Discord. Wormburner will be talking about these stats a lot. We get them from Fangraphs, so feel free to look at that. If you have any questions to how to navigate, just message me. And from here, we're almost at the end of our last run. Yeah, pitchers, same thing. Waka, Daniels. Then you have Sale, Gavin Stone, Keter Montero, Kikuchi, Pepwa. I would be okay with this if I got this, at 6:45 Eastern time. When I look at team stacks, all right, we still got 40% Texas, even though I set a limit on a 5-man Texas because it's bringing in individual players too. But so Texas is really popping. New York, San Diego, Toronto, Cincinnati, LA, Detroit, Milwaukee, Colorado. This is interesting given the environment. So let's say I said, I really want to attack Colin Ray. I know I'm fucking preaching that today. I'm going to Colorado a little boost here. I'm just going to make sure that I unclick their pitcher because it's also going to give their pitcher the boost too. But you can manually give them a boost there. You should get more of them. When I go to players stacks, the most common stack I get from Cincinnati, Stevenson, Candelario, Marte, Ellie De La Cruz, Fairchild, then Stevenson, Candelario, Marte, Cruz, Steer. This is important, and this is where I think you have to go in and make some little tweaks to your lineups after your run is done. Even here with Toronto, Kirk, Guerrero, Horwitz, Clement, Springer. If I'm looking at a team in the sheets here, and I'm just going to use Toronto as an example because they're a team that we're obviously going to be on today. Guerrero, Horwitz, Springer, Kirk, Justin Turner, Clement. So you might say to yourself, why is Justin Turner not in that lineup in that instance more versus Clement when he's got better number here, same here. Clement is so much cheaper. So what that's telling you is that it's going to put an emphasis on that position at possibly paying down or middling even. So when I go here, I also like to go position by position and just see the highest owned people. So Trevino, 3,400 makes sense. Will Smith, big part of the LA stack, so you're going to want him. But you look at the rest of these guys: 3,600 Stevenson, Kirk, Heim, Higgy, Riley 4,300, Carson Kelly, Contreras 1%, Perez 1%, Diaz 1%. Outside of Will Smith, the value in catching today is paying down. In first base, all the Otani, all the Candelario, Horowitz, Guerrero, Freeman, Arias. 1, 2, 3. The 6 most exposed guys I have at first base today are above $4,000. You should be paying in the mid-range to up at first base today. That's what that's telling you. Second base here, Ornelas, dirt cheap 2K. He makes all of your stacks work. In this instance, with a guy like Ornelas, I'm probably going to put max him out maybe at 30% rather than 58. That's a lot to have of a guy. And I'm not really a box score watcher, but I don't know. Was he maybe pinch hit for? There's a lot of things that I'm really curious about. He's so cheap. Where is he? Ornelas. 2 at-bats in a 7-0 game. He got pinch hit for. He probably stepped in for a pinch hit here. I 1 for 2 with a walk double. I don't know. Maybe he did. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. But these cheap end of the order guys really give me worry about that. So I'd maybe do that. Maybe make him 30. When I look at third base, Ornelas cheap again. Candelario, he's first base, third base eligible. Marte, Clement, Turner. Then you get to Machado, Brett Harris. They kind of want you to pay down at third base today. At shortstop, Kim, Cruz, Volpe. They probably want you to pay up more. Yeah, there's only 2 guys below 4K that I even have exposure to. It's Miguel Rojas, who's on the Dodgers, and Zach McKinstry. You should probably pay up at shortstop today. Last but not least, the outfield. You're always going to get a mixed bag here, but Derek Hill makes a lot of stacks work. Otani, Judge, Soto, Adolis, Merrill. Springer is below 4K, but still Hernandez, Bryce Johnson. Here you're going to get a lot of the end of the rotation guys, end of the lineup guys that are going to make your stacks work. But overall, you mix bag at outfield, but you probably want to pay up. There's a lot of exposure in these high dollar guys. So overall, large field strategy today when you're building by ceiling. Pay down at pitching. We load up on the bats. We could take Texas, New York, San Diego. Let me just check quick one more time too. I want to take a look at pitcher ownership. Let me just reset this. And yeah, if you want to take a stab against the Dean Kramer today, who's going to be the second highest owned, I'm not going to advise to attack Sale, but I if you want to do it, okay. But yeah, you want to attack Rodon. Cincinnati's going to give you that leverage. Baltimore's going to give you the leverage against Seattle. Minnesota's going to give you leverage against Detroit. Gavin Stone, you want to play the Diamondbacks, be my guest. And from there, it kind of starts to get a little middling. So I know it's a long video. I wanted to all take you through a build today. And then when you're done, just hit download quick and it will populate the CSV. Thank you all. Let's bank tonight.